Hey guys, welcome back to DIY Projects with Pete. In today's episode, we'll be walking through the process of installing a MrCool 18K mini split unit to keep an office cool. If you find the video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Thanks to MrCool for sponsoring today's video. Let's get to it. All right, so the first step is going to be to determine where we want to put our air handler. So we're going to use a stud finder. We'll find the studs in the wall, and that's going to help us figure out where we want to put our bracket. The studs in your wall will most likely be 16 or 24 inches on center if you're in the US. Once you've found a few areas on your wall that could work, go ahead and take the mounting plate off the back of your air handler and grab the cardboard template to help line up where the mounting plate and air handler will eventually be attached to the wall. Set the condenser outside in the approximate area you'd like to put it, making sure to maintain the clearance requirements shown in the manual. You'll want to take your time with measurements to ensure the line set will go out of the home at a good location to line up with where you want the condenser unit. The air handler should be about 6 inches down from the ceiling, and you can tape the cardboard template to the wall to simulate where the air handler will eventually be mounted. Use a level to check that the template is plumb and level, and there are 2 holes marked US on each side, which is 16 inches on center, and the holes all used to secure it, but line up the template to best fit your wall type and space. Use a small drill bit to pre-drill where each screw will go, and you can use drywall anchors if needed, but try to hit at least one stud if possible, and then drill a hole through the center of the circle that will be used to line up your hole saw in a later step. Double check your mounting plate matches up with the template, and then it's time to secure it to the wall. Put in the first screw and then pivot the template to line up the other holes. Check that it's still looking level, and then insert the remaining screws. My bracket was super solid at this point, and I'm not sure how necessary it is to have the lower sides of the plate tight to the wall, but I inserted a drywall anchor and a screw at each side, so it was nice and tight as well. The next step is to line up a 3.5-inch hole saw with the hole you had pre-drilled with the template. Of course, make sure you will not hit a stud or any other obstruction between the interior wall and siding. In my case, I'm going through a 2x6 wall with fiberglass and foam insulation. You can push the batt insulation to the sides so it is out of the way for the hole saw, and try your best to line up the hole saw as level as possible when continuing the hole through the outside wall. If anything, it can be a hair lower to help maintain a slight slope for the air handler's drain tube. Use a long drill bit from the inside to mark a center hole on your siding so that you can finish off the line set hole from the outside to avoid blowing out the edges of the hole. This will make sure it's perfectly round and avoid damaging your siding. I'd recommend taking the time when measuring and putting up the template to get the line set hole at the right height to center it on your siding boards if you have a horizontal style of siding. All right, now that the line set hole is made, clean up your work area a bit, and then get ready to install the tube through the wall. Put it into place and make sure the flat side is facing down so your air handler will completely cover it in a later step. Head outside and mark where to cut off the excess. You'll be cutting it a little shy of the line so it doesn't protrude out of the siding. You can simply mark one of the rings even if you have beveled siding, since there's a little wiggle room to work with once that outer ring trim piece goes on. A multi-tool works well for making quick work of cutting that tube if you have one. Otherwise, a hacksaw works just fine. Use a knife to deburr it, and then run a bead of silicone around the inside lip to hold the tube in place. Seal the tiny gap around the outside of the tube, and then run a bead of clear silicone around the trim piece before pushing it into place and onto your siding. Give the silicone plenty of time to cure, and it's a good time to clean up your workspace and use a magic eraser and a towel to clean up any pencil marks on your wall. Now, I usually wait overnight for the silicone to set up, and then you can stick a small towel or put some tape over the hole for the night. Because this unit is going on the second floor of the home, there isn't a great spot to do a concrete pad at ground level, so I'm using a metal bracket similar to how I mounted my 12K unit on our hockey rink warming house last year. Since this DIY ductless mini split system is a heat pump, it can heat and cool. Now, this exterior wall faces southwest, so any snow does melt fairly quickly, but I'm still mounting it 20 inches above the deck to minimize snow affecting it if it was to be used for any heating during the winter months. I wish the bracket could be a little wider so you could hit a stud at each end, But since you can't, I drilled a new center hole so I'd at least hit 2 studs going into the house. Pre-drill and then put a leg screw through the center hole. Check that first part of the bracket is level, and then pre-drill the other holes. You'll want to slide the 2 L-shaped brackets into the channel before putting in the outer leg screws. For this 18K unit, I ended up repositioning the L brackets, so the right side was just inside the leg bolt, and then the left side, I actually have the leg screw go directly through the L bracket to get the correct spacing for the width of the unit. Now you can move on to installing the air handler. Start by slowly bending the line set straight out from the back side of the air handler. Use one hand right at the bend location to help guide it and to prevent kinking the pipe. Unravel the electrical cable and then place the air handler on a towel so you can organize and wrap the line set. The drain tube should be placed below the copper line sets to ensure the air handler will drain properly if it needs to. Then wrap the supplied UV tape around the line set, and this doesn't actually have any adhesive on it, so I like to lightly secure it in place with white electrical tape. This portion on the Generation 5 units has a spring around the copper piping to help minimize the chances of the copper from ever bending too much. Feed the electrical cable through the wall, which will then connect to the condenser, and carefully lift your air handler, then insert the line set through the wall. The air handler isn't too heavy, so you'll most likely be able to put it up on your own, but a second set of hands would definitely make it easier, especially if it's going higher up on a wall. Line up the top of the unit with the slots in the metal mounting bracket. The bottom of the air handler will then snap over the lower parts of the bracket, and it may take a few minutes to get it all lined up, but it's pretty straightforward. There's a smart controller to install by opening the front panel and then prying off the little cover where it needs to be plugged in. Then, once that's put in, push it back into place, and your air handler will be ready to connect to Wi-Fi once the mini split install is complete. For additional support, pre-drill and install a leg bolt in each of the L brackets, and I apparently should have pre-drilled a little larger as I unfortunately cracked the middle of the cedar bevel siding when putting it in the leg bolt, so I'll be repairing that off camera when I get a chance. There are 4 black rubber pads to dampen the vibration from the condenser, and you'll want to place one under each corner of the unit. Put a bolt through the top with a nut at the bottom to hold it in place, and then we'll completely tighten each bolt later on in the project. Very carefully bend the lines coming out from the house so they rest flat against the siding, and place one hand behind the bend to help guide it. Connect the drain tube, and then you can start feeding the tube and electrical cable toward that condenser. Find a flat surface to unroll the line set, and you'll want to measure the length you'll need to help unroll the correct amount. Continue unrolling until you have enough straightened out line set. Now at this point, we've already made a lot of progress in the project, and connecting the line set to the condenser will be another big task to check off your list. Connect the line sets by first threading each coupler together by hand, and then finish tightening each connection by using 2 crescent wrenches. And this is going to take quite a few turns, so just take your time until it's nice and snug. You don't want to over tighten it, but I found by feel that it's pretty easy to know when it's tightened properly. Repeat the process on the other line until it's connected tightly as well. Remove the cover where the other end of the line sets will attach to the condenser, and you'll most likely find an Allen wrench as well as a drain attachment that you can install on the underside of the unit. I would say one of the more challenging parts of the project, if you're mounting the condenser on a bracket, is to get the line set organized and then around the back side to line up with the connection points on the side of the unit. Now they recommend the line set be horizontal underneath the condenser as opposed to vertical and behind the unit where it could interfere more with the airflow of the unit. It just takes a little time and patience to bend that line set carefully so it will align and thread on at the connection point. Make sure the connection valves are tightened thoroughly, and then connect each of the lines in a similar fashion as before by using a crescent wrench on each connection point. Tighten each connection until they are nice and snug, but do not over tighten. The pre-charged quick connect line sets are the secret behind making this a DIY installation that can be done without needing to hire an HVAC professional. Unscrew the valve covers and grab that Allen wrench supplied with your unit. Slowly turn the wrench counterclockwise all the way to open up each of the refrigerant valves. Mix up a little bit of dish soap with water in a spray bottle and spray each of the lower and upper connection points to check for leaks. If any new bubbles do form, that indicates there is a leak, and you'll want to retighten any of the loose connections and then check again with the spray bottle. They do supply a sealing clay that can be pushed into the hole to seal it up, or you could definitely use a spray foam if you'd prefer. Next, wrap each of the upper connections with the black sound deadening pads to help minimize noise from the pipes. And I accidentally put them on horizontally, but it's best to orient it vertically to help cover more of the pipe. The UV tape will help cover the exposed refrigerant line, drain tube, and electrical cable. Start wrapping it just below the exposed copper and wrap upward. This is going to help ensure rain and other moisture stays away from the line set as much as possible. And they do give you a couple small sections of pipe insulation to wrap around additional exposed refrigerant pipes prior to putting the UV tape over them. Lightly wrap the UV tape with electrical tape to help hold it in place. Put the lower connection cover back on, and then it's time to install the line set guard to further protect the line set and to improve the look of your installation. This is quick and easy to install, and it gives it a much more professional look in my opinion. Start by attaching the top piece at the bottom side of the hole and use screws as needed to secure it. After the top portion is assembled, slide the channel into place and use a level to ensure it's plumb, and then attach it with screws as needed. Secure the lower channel part and then adjust the line set to fit within the channel area. Then slide the cover up and snap it in place. Once it's snapped on, you can screw on the lower piece to hold everything together. The biggest downside about the pre-charged line sets is you're not able to cut them to length, so you will likely have some extra coil to work with since their shortest line set is 16 feet. But if you're able to organize it neatly, I think it looks just fine, and the ability to be able to DIY the project is worth it. Clear zip ties work great to organize the coil underneath the condenser in a horizontal position, so they're tucked away as best as possible. Cut the drain tube to the approximate length, and then we'll move on to wiring the unit. Open up the electrical panel and feed the black cable through the cover that connects the air handler to the condenser. Secure the wire to the cover as shown, and there is a wire retainer clip to help clamp and organize the wires that you can open before securing each wire in place. MrCool labels each of the wires and where they go, so simply secure wires 1, 2, and 3 as labeled, and the green will go to the ground screw. That's all I'm connecting at the moment, so I'm going to put the cover back on, and then you can organize that excess black cable on the underside of the unit with some zip ties. It's also a good time to completely secure the condenser to the bracket if you haven't already by tightening down each of the 4 bolts. The manual states to install a disconnect box near the condenser unit, so I picked up a fuseless disconnect for about $20 at our local hardware store. I'm not an electrician, and please hire an electrician if you don't feel comfortable wiring the unit yourself. I've done quite a bit of electrical work, so I do feel comfortable, and I'm going to show how I completed my wiring for the project, but always consult an electrician to make sure you do it correctly and safely. Here you can see I'm test fitting the length to run some 1/2-inch flexible conduit from the unit to the disconnect box. And once the proper length was determined, I fished the recommended 12-2 wiring through the conduit. I used watertight fittings at each connection and installed the wiring. Now this requires 240 volts, so both wires are hot in this case, and the white wire is labeled with red to show it is the other hot wire. And the bare copper wire goes to the ground screw. Once all of the wiring was secure, I closed up the panel and moved on to wiring the disconnect box. This had a diagram to show how to wire it. The disconnect gives you the ability to quickly turn off the unit for servicing it, or to manually turn off the unit if there's a safety issue. 3/4 inch flexible conduit was ran from the disconnect box to connect to a straight 3/4 inch section of conduit that runs underneath the deck and into the garage of the home, where it ultimately connects to a double pole 20 amp breaker in the circuit panel. Once it's all wired up, flip the breaker on, and it's time to test out the new mini split. I was really happy with the install, and I'm excited this room will be able to be used again on those hot summer days. Here's the finished install and how they both sound. One feature I really like is the ability to control the system remotely from a smartphone and to create a schedule or view its usage history. As I'd mentioned before, we do have a 12K MrCool mini split I put in last year, and it's worked great to heat our warming house throughout the winter. When it dropped to about 0 to 5 degrees Fahrenheit, though, we did need a backup source of heat. But other than that, it's been awesome. I've been using the shed on the hot summer days as an office, which is the big reason we wanted it, and it's worked like a champ thus far. So hopefully this gives you a good idea of the install process of a mini split and helps you make a decision on if one might be a good fit for your space. Check out the links in the description for more information on getting your home set up to keep you comfortable. Thanks for watching. Cheers.